Yo, what's up, guys? Damnation-n-Hellfire here. If I was egotistical and pretentious, I would say I was the lead presenter, but I'm not that way, so I'm not going to. Tonight we got Vlad. What's up, Vlad?
The rumors of my death were greatly exaggerated. Thanks for everybody who sent well wishes.
Well, if they thought you were dead, why did they send well wishes? That doesn't make sense.
Two different groups of people.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And we also got my brother from down under, Toxic. What's going on, buddy?
G'day, bud. How you been doing?
So, how'd you manage to have the day off work today?
I've got a bad case of the man flu, so
Oh, gotcha.
I'm clinging on to life as we speak.
Is that what Drizzt always used to call the BP flu?
Oh, it's much worse than that.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So you must be playing Battle Pirates and drinking beer.
Yeah, I wish, yeah. I'll do one of them at a time.
So, I guess we're going to talk about some Battle Pirates, because that's kind of what we're here for. Bounty going on this week. Vlad, I know you're a strong supporter of Bounty, and I'm sure that you joined the second that it became available.
Absolutely. The one thing I can tell everybody is there is a problem with the 3D rendering, and if you are having performance issues in your bounty targets with your stage 3D enabled, just turn it off by going to settings and you turn off your hardware acceleration, and that should solve your problem. And that will end my contribution to the bounty discussion.
Oh, that's what you think. I'm going to make you cover one of the blueprints here, pal. Okay.
I'm pretty sure that same problem is whenever you hit, or when you get hit by someone, that all your turrets, all of a sudden everything goes grey in the on your screen. So I don't know whether that's something to do with that, but and your gates disappear and whatnot.
Yeah, there definitely seems to be a problem with hardware acceleration when it comes to base hitting. I mean, for map targets and everything, it's working amazingly, in my opinion. Like, I have so much less lag on map targets now. But yeah, in bases, it does seem to get pretty laggy intensive there. So, I was feeling kind of lazy this week. Go figure. That's a real shocker, right? And I didn't do any slides, so we're just going to share straight from the forums again. And hey, what's up, George?
What up, guys?
Hey, George.
Hiya, George.
Hey, don't be fucking with me, George. I'm the lead presenter here.
Wait, does that mean that your opinion carries more weight than anyone else's?
Apparently so.
Oh, okay.
I knew you'd get a kick out of that, though. So. All right, so we're just going to go over what all...
I've seen a picture of Damnation-n-Hellfire. I guarantee you that his weight carries more than most of us, but not more than me.
I was going to say, there's a pot calling the kettle massively black right there, let me tell you. All right, so we're just going to go over in brief what the patch notes were, and then we'll cover each one of them in detail. So, obviously, Bounty 12 started today.
Yay! No.
Talk about that a little bit more. Special prizes in the FM for this week. We'll talk about that some more. The Primus Ordinance campaign and the Turrets Terror campaign were both this week. The Siege Target Transition happened this week. And we'll go over July Bug Fix Pack real quick. They correct the description of Deadeye and Junkyard Dog Crews. Notes they do not affect scatter guns or UAVs.
Hold on. Doesn't Junkyard Dogs now just say ballistics only? Critical hit to just ballistics now, I think.
Let me go in.
Because I was curious about that, because I was like, man, that sucks. Because I rolled two of them. I'm looking at it. I'm like, ballistics? Man, that sucks. I don't even need it now.
Let me log in real quick, because I know I have one on my guard right now, because I do have like 2 ballistic boats in there. So, and then also, let's see, they updated the display to reflect a building damage boost as being multiplicative instead of additive. Yeah, I don't
Ooh.
even get me
Do we have
started.
do we have a clarification? Wait. Do we have a clarification about that though? What
As
is that
far
in
as
regard to?
the only things I can think of that offer damage boost is like fire support and stuff. Okay, what else do you think? Can you think of?
The other thing I'm thinking of is retros for damage boosts on buildings, because those aren't working either.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not additively anyway. I mean, not the way they're supposed to, but that's a whole nother story, I guess.
But yeah, I was saying, well, it's PvP's just not working the way it's supposed to, so that kind of all falls under that category. Let's see. They corrected R5 Skyfire retro description to show UAV damage increase from plus 60% to plus 70%. So good to know that after 6 months they could finally make that change to and that line of text. Good job. Submerged targets now behave correctly when hardware acceleration is turned on. Graphics updated for the rockets on the launch pad, which those were kind of really funny seeing,
I was gonna say I that could have waited. I mean,
oh, it was kind of humorous to see your rocket floating away over to the side of your launch pad instead of on it. And Zithanite Armor D5 EV can now be equipped without errors. So cool. I'm wondering who put it on what to figure that out. I'm wondering.
I don't know. I've yeah, not me. I know that.
And not me either.
I'm getting cussed out for other stuff, not that. That's for sure.
So I guess first thing we'll talk about is the special prizes in the FM. So obviously, I don't know why they have the runtime there because it's regular FM runtime. But in this week, you can get the Poseidon's Vanguard flagship for 9 million points, or you can get the Greta's Inferno flagship for 8 million points. Let's talk a little bit about the Greta's Inferno flagship being available in the FM, like 2 weeks after it was available in the raid.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think? Let's go down the line. Vlad.
I think that that's a recognition that nowhere near enough people actually cared enough to claim it that they've got to hint dangle it out there a second time. But you need a tinfoil hat for that. I know that I'm really glad that of the 50 million points I actually got in the raid, that I used 40 million of it to claim a ship that I could have got with icebreakers for free 2 weeks later. Yay! Players first.
Toxic?
Yeah, well, I think it's good because you want to see as much content as possible in as many places as possible in the game, and it's pretty obvious that not enough people have gotten the Greta, so they made it available in the FM, which I think it's a good idea. Maybe they should have not even put it in the raid and put it straight into the FM. But hey, hindsight.
Do you feel irritated at all that you paid 40 million points for it in the raid where you could have just got it here for 8 million?
No, I'm more irritated that I didn't get the second flog rather than this. But it doesn't bother me. It's a game, and everybody should have many opportunities as possible to get the good stuff in the game so they can stay in the game and participate.
George.
Y'all want to sit down. So my initial gut reaction was, what the fuck, right? Because I was a little irritated, and I sat and thought about it for a little bit. And here's the thing. I'm not so much irritated that it's out after the raid. I'm irritated that the raid was so fucked. It was just too much damage, right? So taking that out of the equation, I actually really like the idea now. The people that actually need it are going to have to grind like hell to get it, right? Some people do have the icebreakers, and they'll be able to sit there and grind out and get the 8 million for the Greta. But the thing is we're, the 117s are they gone, or are they going to be gone? I think they're going to be gone.
Well, they're going to be gone.
Yeah, and the 112s are going to be gone. And honestly, that Greta, I mean, I would tell people to get that before even the Inferno Dragons, because that thing is so tuned for garrison targets. Like, I mean, I've done the 121 with just 2 hulls. I've done the 120 with friggin' monoliths using that flag. And I think, given the way that the FM is just kind of a necessity in this game for everybody now, I mean, it's still the cornerstone of the game. You've got to be able to do it. And if the targets are getting tuned in such a way that you're going to need these things, yeah, put it in there. And not only for just 1 fucking week either. I mean, I'd probably keep it in here for 8 million, and then after the raid, drop it down to 5 and just leave it in there.
Here's my opinion. 2 things. I'm kind of like, and Toxic touched on this earlier, I would have rather just seen this released in the FM period, not even in the raid. And if they were going to go because I mean, I'm pretty sure they probably knew when they did the raid they were going to put it in the FM. It just would have been nice if we had known, and we would have been able to make a choice if we wanted to do the raid for it or if we wanted to get it in the FM. That's my 2 biggest complaints.
So communication.
I'm not entirely sure that they planned on putting it in the FM. I think they put it in the FM because they saw how many people didn't get it in the raid, and this is kind of an indication of the fact that you're not going to be able to do the high-end targets going forward without it. And they know that the FM is the cornerstone, and they had to figure out a way to get this piece of technology into as many hands as possible. I think it says a lot about their raid design and their blueprint on where they're going. Not blueprint, their timeline where they're going forward, on the fact that they have taken this piece of allegedly difficult to get technology as far as the raid was concerned, and they put it in the FM. And yeah, like I said, the people with, like George said, people with the icebreakers will be able to grind this out in 111s pretty painlessly. But if you don't have the multiple icebreaker fleets, it's going to be a grind to get it. But you better do it. Otherwise, you're going to be sorry.
I know right now that it is actually possible to be able to do like the 120s without the Gretas. I've talked to people that have just like 5 regular Inferno Dragons that have been doing 120s.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's definitely possible, but I don't know. It does irritate me just a little bit, though. I mean, but not enough that I'm going to be like, throwing a fucking fit over it. But it is.
So the question, but Mike, I have a question. Is the frustration from their lack of communication, or the fact that it's actually in the FM? Because I did the same thing. I did the same thing with when, like, my initial gut reaction was like, son of a bitch, I just paid 40 million points for it. But it really wasn't, my frustration really wasn't that it was in the FM. It was that fucking raid was just, I mean, the damage was tuned way too far up.
My frustration lies more in the fact that it wasn't communicated, but it's like Vlad said, and they didn't plan on putting it here at that point. Like, how could you communicate that you were going to when you didn't know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a 50-50. I mean, and granted, the people who got it in the raid still got to take advantage of the VXP weekend to get some rank on it. Even if they didn't get it up to Skull, they probably got a fair amount on it. So, I mean, it's a give and take.
Well, that's, yeah, you know what? That's actually a really good point. Is that the one thing that's overlooked is the people that did get it in the raid. Like, I mean, mine's fully ranked, Skulled, and I'm rocking with the damn thing, But I'm kind of curious now, if it wasn't intended at the raid, would it have been better if you think maybe they let it out next week and let us know this week? Would that have made it better?
A month. I think a month would have been a good timing. Like, after the next raid, then put it in there, in my opinion. Well, no, because that would have been the same problem, because then people would have got it in the whole store, and then they would have been bitching the next FM. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, and the 117s and 112s are going to be gone by then too. I'm just trying to wonder, like, if it's a communication thing, and we presume that they didn't expect to do this, right? Would it have cushioned it a little bit better if they had said, "Hey, we noticed that a lot of, like, the distribution sucks on this. We want to get it into more people's hands. Next week, we're planning on doing this." Would that have been better, or do you think that would have pissed off even more people?
Probably would have been better.
Okay.
But also, another thing that you got to think about too is for anybody who wanted to get stuff in the lock store, you're going to have to buy something at 40 million points anyway. So it might as well have been this,
Yeah, that's true.
because you're going to have to buy something at 40 million to unlock the lock stores. You get your flogs, and you can get your other turrets and stuff that are your turret special and your tokens and crap that was in the lock store. So
Right.
I don't know. I'm split evenly down the middle of whether I'm annoyed or not. I'm very indecisive. Sometimes I am, and sometimes I'm not. But it does give people who don't have a great chance to get it this week. So go out to spend all your time. Forget bounty if you don't have this, and it
Yep.
takes you a long time to do the FM. Forget all about bounty. Go and just bang out on that FM with your punishers, with rippers, or whatever you're using on the low level targets, and grind out 1 million of them so you can get the Inferno flag, and you can really start upping your game.
Absolutely.
Well, maybe, and hopefully it's a sign of things to come, that maybe we don't get all this tech in the raid anymore. They're trying to throw, starting to throw a few more higher end prizes into the FM. Wouldn't that be good?
Well, I have a fundamental issue with the price point being that high in the FM for any prize, and I think I said this when they first changed it over and they didn't put a cap on the prizes. I mean, this just opens the door for some extreme inflation if they feel like it. And I'm kind of leery on that because honestly, there is a trust deficit there, and I don't really trust that they're going to do the right thing.
That's the only thing, the trust deficit. Yeah, I agree with that.
But, part of me is like, well, this is where you should be getting your FM fleet, though, because the way the raid cycles are running now, the FM fleet shouldn't be in the raid, because that's going to interrupt the flow of the raid hulls that we get. You know what I mean?
Well, does it matter? We're getting proto hulls now, too. I mean, hell, Primus Adornus. Wait till we get to that one. I got shit to say about that.
Oh, I can't imagine you having shit to say about anything, George.
I don't say nothing. I'm an angel. I don't have an opinion.
I would almost like to see all of our upcoming, FM fleets for the future actually maybe get released in the FM.
Yeah, so would I agree.
I don't know
That would
that
be
I'm
interesting.
not necessarily opposed to that idea.
But then here's the only caveat to that is, in the raid you can get help if you're a lower level and you can't kind of get to it. In the FM, if they start doing that, there's going to be an automatic gap of the have and have nots, and you can't help anybody in the FM.
You can to a certain degree.
Not to get them 8 million points in the FM. I mean, that's the only thing that I'd worry about. Now, if they throw out a co-op, target, well, that's a whole nother story. Then,
yeah.
Then we'll cook them with fire.
Right. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where that lies. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to that. But we'll see. I mean, what they could even do is here's what they could do. They could put when the new FM fleet comes out, they could originally put it in the FM. And then when the first hull store comes after that, it can be in there, and that's where people can get help to get it.
Maybe. The thing is I don't want that crazy ass point requirement in the FM because it's already a damn grindy chore.
I think all but one of the shows that was on the air when they changed the FM format to like this pretty much said, yeah, it will eventually escalate. And it has. But let's go for, how about think out of the box a little bit? If they're going to make Garrison and have all these points and all this other stuff associated with it, I'm going to be the first to call for it. We need a third shipyard. Call it the Vlad shipyard for garrison hulls only.
Well,
I mean, I always was of the opinion that they should put in like a super target where I can just hit one target, take a shit ton of damage, and be done with my damn FM. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome too. Yes.
well, that would be our fourth shipyard, Vlad, because I already pitched the idea for the third one of the escalation shipyard. I pitched that a long time ago when we first started seeing escalation weapons and stuff.
Okay. 4. I'm cool with 4 shipyards.
All right.
Well, like what you just said, George, there with the I have one super target, like the old drag bases that we had, where you had 4 corners and you had to do the 4 corners, and then maybe get a middle to it, so that you can attack the 4 corners with a couple of friends, and then hit the middle, and then you get certain amount of
Yeah, it
points
could be
for
a
it.
co-op. Yeah, it could be a
Something
co-op
like
target.
that, Yeah.
How
That would
long
work.
has that middle target been coming soon?
Well, I tell you what, though, it'll be interesting because one of the corners for the SSRBs is supposed to be a garrison target.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. Maybe they'll do something like that in there. I kind of don't foresee us getting like a whole crap ton of points like what we're hoping for, but it might be more points than what we're getting out of a target right now. So if you can go in and hit that corner and take a bunch of damage but get like 2 million points for your FM, that might be worth it.
And it would be co-op, so that would be really interesting.
Yeah. But hey, George, I'll let you talk about this Poseidon's Vanguard a little bit.
Do I have to? I'm not sure. I took a quick look at it, and I'm kind of like, it's okay that it's. To me, it's okay that it's in the FM because that one is not a requirement because there is something else to choose, and it's only in there for a week. But those players that can do this, and if you already have the Gretas, you can do this. They get a free hull essentially for just grinding a little bit on the FM. It is an interesting hull. That ballistic range is, there's some things in here. I just don't know how it's going to stand up because right now it's got just the ballistic and rad deflection.
Yep.
I don't know. I got to actually play with it a little bit first. I mean, it's got a bunch of bonuses for the Freet and the Impact Cruiser. So it's going to give both of those ballistic and rad deflection on top of some ballistic and rad damage as well. That's going to be really interesting with the Freet if you're using those throwers and get it to a point where it's doing like the max splash. The other stuff though, I don't know.
I'm just like, I don't know.
I'm kind of gun shy because of the other Poseidons. I just
Well, and I
holds
find
up.
it interesting too that they're bringing out a flag for Freets and Impact Cruisers because I don't know about you guys, but I never get hit by Impact Cruisers or Freets.
I do. They don't do well, but I do.
Well, I guess I should have rephrased that. I mean, I don't get hit by Impact Cruisers or Freets that get any farther than my first gate. I should have rephrased it that way. So, like, to me, this is really like not necessary.
But we don't know what's coming up, and this is the problem that I've had with PvP all year long. We have zero idea of what the hell the plan is, right? And we're 7 months in, and we still don't know what the fuck's going on. We had those crazy wild swings at the beginning of the year, and then we had turrets that were way the hell whacked, and it was told. I mean, they knew that the very first day that we figured out that wasn't stacking the right way, and now we get stuff like this, and I'm kind of scratching my head, going, okay, well, it's got to be there for a reason, right? But what's the reason? Like,
well, I don't know that it necessarily is, because I can almost guarantee you that the whole PvP plan has changed now that we have a new lead designer.
I hope it will. I mean,
this could very possibly just like leftovers. You know what I mean? And then I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think they. I mean, if they hold to 2016 and 2017, they have the 2018 plan is already planned out for the year. So the question is the new guy comes in, they know PvP's fucked. What do you do? Like, do you dump all this tech? Like, are we seeing this in the FM because they're dumping the tech early so they can get the new, like, hopefully balanced versions of stuff out? Like, I don't know. This is where I would like to see communication. Like, this is definitely where I would like to go, hey, do I bother with this, or am I going to be wasting shipyard time because there's something changing? I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's great that you come out and you say things are broken and you say you're going to fix them, but it would be great if you would tell us, like, how.
some
So
direction.
we have an idea of where we're headed.
Yeah, this game is complicated. It's so complicated for a lot of players that you've got to come out and give the player base some direction, because right now, I mean, we've been guessing for 7 months, man, and we're not liking it.
Yeah. I would have liked to see it instead of, I would have liked to see this thing instead of offering, like, ballistic and radioactive deflection buffs, maybe, like, some penetrative deflection buffs, since the Efreet has, like, no penetrative deflection whatsoever. Although, I guess with the armors, you didn't really need it.
You know what I would have liked to see?
What's that?
This thing make something break deflection, because I'm so tired of friggin' death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, I think that's everybody. But I mean, so if you feel if you have everything in the FM and you think this would be benefit to you, you can grind out 9 million points in the FM and grab it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still not sure as to what the purpose was. Oh, joy.
We're saving bounty for last, so let's go ahead and talk about Primus Ordinus. We had this campaign once before, so this is the one where you want to use your siege ships. They say legendary rank Buccaneer.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Look, I distinctly remember being on a show and just totally not get along with anybody because I had a problem with them tuning fucking TLCs and map targets to proto hulls that are supposed to be an option. And lo and behold, this comes back out and it's still tuned for the proto hulls. Yay!
Yep, and I mean, and you
Bullshit.
can tell it's tuned to the proto hulls just by looking at the targets themselves, because they're pretty much replicas of what you see in the SSRB.
It's bullshit.
But I mean, Hydras can do fairly well in it up till Encounter 5 is a bitch though. Like, I don't know how many of you guys have done this, but like when I hit Encounter 5 with my Hydras, they just get annihilated.
I don't know. I just auto the things.
Have you done all the prize packs yet?
I'm actually doing what the hell prize pack? Actually, I'm probably gonna run out of time because I forgot to keep on hitting this thing. I'm on prize pack 3, and I got like 9 minutes left. I don't even know which one I'm on.
Gotcha.
Oops.
But yeah, if you have Hydras, you can get through this. Or, you know, if you're one of those lucky few that has your Proto Sense all done and ready to go, you can definitely get through this.
To get those nice Proto Centurion friggin' tokens, use your Proto Sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, right. So prize pack 1, you get Countermeasure Loader 3 and a 1-day Proto Cent token. Prize pack 2, you get Siege Battery 4 and a 1-day Proto Cent token. Prize pack 3, you get Peak Acceleration Cannon and 2 1-day build tokens. And then the Mastery runs, which you can do up to 5 times. You get Missile Defense System 2 times 2, Hyper 20 Installation times 1, and Reinforced Layered Armor times 1. So
It'd be nice if I got those tokens, man, but geez, I don't have the Proto Centurion to get the Proto Centurion tokens.
Yeah, right. But I say, yeah, it definitely comes down to you got to weigh your math options. Like, okay, how much does it cost you to do the campaign? To how many prize packs you can get through? All that kind of fun stuff to find out whether it's worth this for you personally to do it or not. I know I've done prize pack 1 and 2 already, and those were definitely worth it for me. I have to take a look at prize pack 3, see how that goes. I have a feeling that'll probably be worth it for me, monetary wise. And then probably the mastery runs I'm probably not even mess with.
I've done 1 and 2, and I've done 1 and 2 up to the run through 4 for like an hour and 20 minutes or 30 minutes repair. And then I thought, oh, hey, this is really nice, you know, blah blah blah. And then I did the 5th one, and I got slaughtered. So there was 5 run-throughs in pack 2, and there are 7 run-throughs in pack 3. So if 5, 6, and 7 are as bad as each other, then there's no way that I can get through pack 3 with 1 fleet without coining it, and I won't be coining that.
What is this? This is number 6. This is the damn SSRB target.
Well, there you
I've
go.
not,
What
I've
the
not
hell?
seen what 5, 6, and 7 is, so I got no idea. Sorry, 6 and 7.
Well, that's lame.
So if the SSRB is definitely for Proto Sense, and encounter number 6 is that corner of the SSRB,
what the fuck?
then guess what? They definitely tuned this campaign around.
Like, am I on? Hold on. Am I on crack? Let me share the screen. How the hell do I share the screen? Hold on.
Well, you might be on crack, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're wrong.
That's the SSRB target, right?
Hang on. Yeah, it looks an awful lot like it.
That's the SSRB target.
Like it.
Motherfuckers, look at that shit. I wonder what number 7's going to be like then. Dang. Wonder if I'm going to finish in time to hit number 7 before the timer goes out.
Vlad,
That's
have you
lame.
done this campaign at all?
I did it when it first came out. I did it with Hydras, and I did not try the mastery targets. They were just I took so much damage getting through prize pack 3 that I'm like, there's no way I can handle a mastery. And I did it mostly with Hydras, though the prize pack 3 ended up finishing off my Hydras, and I had to go back in and use Buccaneers, which got ate up pretty bad, but was enough to finish. But yeah, I'm looking at this here, and for the amount of damage that you're going to take, even in prize pack 3, for the 2 Centurion build tokens, I just don't see it as being worth it. Do 1 and 2 with your Hydras and get your 2 one-day build tokens, and that'd be where I would stop, unless I didn't have the peak acceleration cannon. Then I would do prize pack 3. But I just can't see anybody doing prize pack 4 unless you've already got the fleet done. If you've already got the fleet done, why do you need to do the mastery prizes?
Well, prize pack 3 and the mastery rounds are the same run, I believe.
Something actually worth mentioning though, and I wanted to mention this in the update itself, and I forgot. The reinforced layered armor here, while the stats on here only show it at plus 66 percent ballistic defense, this one, the reinforced reactive armor and the reinforced ablative armor this week all got snuck into the retrofit system. So now they actually offer you up to 81.6%, I think.
Yeah,
defense.
matches the same thing, which is awesome because I'm already refitting my my Gretas.
I just my biggest complaint is why didn't they do this when like those first started coming out? Because we all talked about how much they suck because they only went up to plus 66%, and it was discussed on multiple venues, and Kix never said anything, and now suddenly it's been put into the retro, and now it's back. So yeah, I mean, I know there's a certain group of people that's liking to take credit that it's put in there. Well, I want to know if that certain group of people is also going to give coins to all the people who now need to refit because everything changed. Just curious. But yeah, that's definitely worth noting. So.
Wouldn't be holding my breath on those coins.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, someone of that group still owes me coins for something.
And we also have the Turrets of Terror campaign. This one you do with legendary ranked icebreakers. Honestly, if you got Inferno Dragons, this is probably one of the easiest campaigns that you'll ever do. And then in Prize Pack 1, which quite honestly, in my opinion, Prize Pack 1 is the only one that really, unless you're a real low level, Prize Pack 1 is the only one that has a turret that's even remotely relevant in today's game, and that's the Glacial Launcher turret. And even that's not as good as it used to be, but it still does have some use. So you get that in Prize Pack 1 along with the Radium Reserves. Prize Pack 2, you get Epic Cats, Fuel Tank, O1X, and the 3 times 10 days worth of Epic Cat tokens. And Prize Pack 3, you get the Adder Strike turret, Sulfide Deployer, and 20 days worth of Adder Strike build tokens and 2 one-day structure build tokens. In Prize Pack 4, you get the Omega Pyro Rocket. That's the one that goes up on top of your outpost. And you get 2 more one-day structure build tokens.
But you're still limited to 2, so make sure you use them between the 2. If anybody does not have any of those specials, this is so definitely worth getting and doing this TLC.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But turret-wise, I think the only one that's worth it is the first one.
Oh, it's the specials that what you want.
Right. Although, I don't know. If you don't have a glacial launcher, it's still good. Toxic Plaid, you guys have anything to say about this?
I think you guys have already said it. The Epic Cataclysm and the Adder Strike are both 6.5s, which means they're pretty much virtually useless. Nice that they gave you enough tokens that you can probably build them with the tokens that you get, but the Cataclysm Mortar, what's the build day at time on that? Like 26 days?
Yeah, I would say like 29 days, I think, maybe without an officer.
And it's still only a 6.5, so it's not going to work or play well with your 7s. I guess if you've got nothing else better to do and you want to go do a TLC, but I'm not even sure I'm going to bother with that one at all.
Yes, I'm here. I mean, the only reason I would do it for is the structure build tokens, but I don't really need them. I've got two Epic Cats. They're still okay to keep sloth away from the rim of your base. So the Adder Strike, I've put one of them in, and it doesn't seem to be doing much. So, and the Omega gun, I don't know. I haven't had one on for a long time, and it seems to be better without. So it's really only structure build tokens if you needed to build whatever. But yeah, maybe level 9 turrets or level 8 turrets or 7s or whatever they are.
Well, the problem is the really valuable from time standpoint build tokens are specific to the turret you're putting on. Like in Prize Pack 2, you get 30 days worth of build tokens. They are specifically Epic Cataclysm Mortar build tokens. If you don't want that turret, the build tokens are useless. In Prize Pack 3, you can get 2 1-days. And in Prize Pack 4, you can get 2 1-days.
I will say though, with the base parts targets having changed over this week, a lot of people might see a lot more use out of those 1-day structure build tokens than what they did say last week. Because a lot of people probably don't have the fleets to hit the high level targets to get base parts to auto upgrade their turrets. So yeah, they could see a little bit more use out of these 1-day structured build tokens than what they did last week.
Yeah, or Buccaneer owners.
Yeah.
Just saying, because that 103. I mean,
well, Buck owners can at least grind out the 98s though.
Yeah, but dude, it's still a top tier hull, built top tier. It should be able to do the top tier target. It should do its job, okay? It should just do its damn job.
Let's not get sidetracked on that. Otherwise, we'll be talking about that for a fucking hour and a half.
Why is it sidetracked to talk about a hull that was supposed to last a year and lasted a month?
Because I don't want to be on here till fucking 9:30 or 10 o'clock. That's why.
It's just a simple, if you're gonna release shit, make sure it does what you say it's gonna do, because it ain't doing. That's all.
Bounty. I guess basically we're back to what we were doing in Bounty 10, which is hitting your opponent bases on the map without guard fleets. So I'm glad they took the guard fleets out. But yeah, they removed the flat value from player bases, and I'm sure that had to do with people abusing that last bounty.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And they removed the guard fleets from the replica bases, which I think is a really good thing. And
They
we
have to.
actually we asked them to do that during the last bounty. So
Yeah, I mean they have to because there's I mean like I'm looking at my locator right now. Like this guy's worth 3 bounty. 3, not 300, 3. This guy's worth 6. This guy's worth 20. This guy's worth I mean I have nobody worth hitting for shit on this list. I thought they fixed the locator. Nope. Either that or everyone's just banking and not playing. I mean, which is possible because everyone wants to do their FM stuff. I don't know. It's gone back to PvE instead of PvP, and it's kind of annoying.
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess if a lot of people hadn't really abused the PvP part last time, that we probably would have seen more PvP this time.
No, if they actually listened, it wouldn't have gotten abused. I think.
Yeah, well,
That would be my guess, but
six one, half a dozen the other.
Yeah.
But anyway, it started today at 10 a.m. kicks time. It goes till Monday at 10 a.m. kicks time. And we're back to, we had the 800 bounty every couple hours like we used to for as far as the drip. You're stealing 50% when you flatten somebody. You can still secure bounty on demand. Day 1, you get 5 charges to do that.
Yeah,
Day 2
awesome.
is 4. Day 3 is 4, and day 4 is 3. Every time you hit 10,000 bounty, it auto secures. What were you going to say?
Can I just say something?
Go ahead.
I'm not someone who makes a million or quadrillion points in a bounty. So if I got 5 saves, all right? So I can save, if I got 1,000, I can save, or if I got 5,000, I can save. So what if I hit 10,000? Does that count towards one of my saves, or is that just an extra?
No, it's extra. It just auto banks it and you don't lose one of your charges.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Next stuff. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, George.
All right. No, I was just gonna say, what the hell's the point of hitting play a bases when like I'm trying to find just any base out here. Every single one of them is at or near the same as a map target base. Why would I bother?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you're gonna have to be in somewhere where there's people who are really hitting it, or I don't know, last day maybe. That's when usually you see bases that are worth a lot.
Not anymore. I mean, you still get the bounty bank,
Yeah.
This is just, this is so lame.
Of course, the Golden Nexus works the same as what it's been working ever since they did it out there. You can claim one. If you claim it today, then Friday at 3 p.m. kicks time, you'll get your, if you still have it, you'll get your 2,000 bounty payout. And then you can claim the other one at starting at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And, if you hold that up until the end, you get your 4,000 payout. And if you're in a big alliance and you can hold multiples, then you will get those bonuses all added together. So if your alliance controls 3 of them, then you'll get 12,000 bounty at the end of that payout for that last one.
This is so damn boring.
Yeah, I agree. It's really a grind now.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit even worse because with my alliance, they're all already hit. I mean, there's no fucking targets. There are none. This is nuts.
You can tell we're talking about bounty now. Vlad's even turned his camera off. He's like, "Yep, I'm done."
Autoing 111s with my icebreakers, chasing that 9 million point total.
There you go.
You should get that.
You gotta get that flagship.
That flagship, man. Tell you what,
he doesn't want to see us that he smiles. He doesn't let us know that.
I've already got the 8 million point flagship. You get that 9 million point flagship.
Oh, you need that for all that base hit you do, right?
Yep, all that base hitting I do. I can't remember the last time I attacked a player base.
Oh, so top prize for this bounty is the Curator. Toxic. You want to go over the blueprint for this?
I'll give it a good go, yeah.
Toxic's you just threw me under the bus, you asshole.
Well, I wasn't going to say it, so no, I can do that. It's a Legion Defender hull, which which I personally like because it's got a 30-minute repair duration, which is awesome. It's the same as the Conqueror House. It's got the same amount of armor points. It's got a max weight of 20,000 tons. It's got good radioactive deflection and ballistic deflections. And here comes the rubbish truck. So unless you cannot hear it, I hope you can hear me.
I can't hear the truck. I can hear you just fine though.
Okay. It's got buffs built in for countermeasure, radioactive, and ballistic. That's in range and in reload. It gives you I think if I remember right, there's the ballistic 110 range or thereabouts. So it brings it up to par with the rockets and the launchers I think you can get. So it's roughly around about the same. It's got 8 weapon slots, 3 armor slots, and 6 special slots, and you can put a tactical module on it should you want to. And the other good thing, it's got a 95 thermal range, which I think is good. Yeah.
I'm thoroughly impressed by the half-hour repair time, the base half-hour repair time.
Yes, so am I. I reckon that's awesome. I think it's a step in the right direction.
Well, I think everyone's been saying that, people are using the Conqueror fleets instead because of repair times and stuff. I mean, why are the Defenders that damn much to repair? And hopefully this is...
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, I could see if they keep going in this direction with Defenders and them being only 30 minutes to repair, I could potentially see me having, like, during Bounty, when I get hit and I get, like, a 4-hour bubble, I could potentially see my guard fleet being repaired in time to put it back in my base by the time my bubble drops.
Hey, I just have a random, absolute question, right? Just completely random right now, but I thought that the wall issue was due to the 3D new GPU thingamabobby, is it not?
What wall issue?
Well, the walls don't friggin' die. They just look like they stay there forever.
No, I don't think it is. I think that's just walls just don't die right now.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, because I have mine turned off and that's not freaking, they're not dying. And I know they should be dying to this.
So what target are you hitting?
Oh, an opponent base. I mean, they're worth more than player bases.
All right.
Fun PvP. I mean, it was a level 115, but still. Freaking wall. I'm like, do I go forward? Or I can't tell if the walls are dead. I'm like, what the hell? That's lame.
So what do you think about this hole, George?
Oh, I'm going back to slides. Hold on. I just jumped into base. Give me 1 second.
I'll ask a question.
Which one is it?
It's the Curator, the top prize. Good to see you're paying attention. That's always a bonus.
I am. No. That's the one that has the half-hour repair. I like that, and it's again, it has that ballistic range, right? That's the one that has 70% on it too, right?
Yeah.
So it's got that. It's got another range, the launcher range, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah. It has plus 13 hours.
Yeah, it has some crazy ass friggin' reload for countermeasures. Now, it makes it interesting. It's going to make the whole thing interesting, but I think the biggest thing with this one that I like is the fact that it has more weapon slots than the Warden. That was the one drawback on the Warden. It just seemed underpowered, All
right.
So I like that a lot. Now, whether or not it's going to be effective, I don't know. We'll find out.
I wonder how many people that built Wardens will end up dropping them to put Curators in.
I probably will be, if I can get them. I mean, I don't know if I can deal with this shit for friggin' Bounty.
Yeah, I mean, between having more weapon slots and the much shorter repair time, I probably, if I had ever built a Warden, would probably be replacing it. So I'm glad I never got around to building a Warden.
This is the worst level 112 I've ever seen in my life. This can't really be in the game.
I got a question here.
Wow.
With these, well, most of the defenders now don't have a combat speed. I'm correct in that, yes?
Yeah.
So why is the turn speed of some something that benefits the player or the
No,
hull?
it's just something that they don't bother coding out, is my
Okay.
guess.
Okay. I was just wondering because it's they all got these turning stat bonuses, and I was just wondering whether that affects hull in any kind of way, or whether that's just because they didn't want to turn it. Yeah.
I have noticed, and maybe it's just my imagination, but I have noticed when my boat is facing towards something that's shooting at it, my counters seem to work better than when it's like their counters are shooting sideways at something that's shooting at it. And that could just be me, and I might be crazy, but I personally think that I have noticed that.
I'm curious to know if the counters that you're noticing doing that, if you have different ones in the front and the back of the boat, because placement actually matters on your boat. So if you're turned away from it and you have, like, say, Gale 2s in the back and you have your Gale 3s in the front, but you're facing the opposite way, your Gale 2s are going to be firing first.
Yeah, these are on holes that have like all the same countermeasures.
Oh, that's weird. Although, you know what? I will say this, because in the 117, I noticed that if you were going towards the mortars that were firing at you, they shot down way, way more effectively than if you were running away from the mortars. And I did mention that a couple of times, and everyone thought I was nuts. No, if it's happening in the bases too, well, I mean, it sucks, but it's great because now it means I'm not fucking psycho. So
Yeah. I mean, and that would kind of explain why turn speed on them would actually kind of matter some, because that way they would turn to be facing towards what we're shooting at you, and maybe you get better performance out of your CMs. But there again, I don't know. Just that's always seemed that way to me.
That's interesting, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I actually have a video of that happening in the 117. I just haven't sent it in yet because, yeah, I'm lazy.
Well, let's be honest. They got so much other stuff that's probably a higher priority than that they need to do.
True.
Another prize we got this time around is the EMP Overload. I'm kind of interested in this one. It's Reaver Tech, and it only weighs 500 tons. This is a tactical mod that you can put on either your Conquerors or your Defenders. So it's every 375,000 points of damage that you will take. It will berserk for 1 second, and it will send out basically an EMP pulse, which, as we all know, the EMP pulses stun enemies that get hit by it. It has a splash range of 115. Accuracy is 100%. It has a range of 120, and it does 350,000 damage. Now,
definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Now, and maybe I'm wrong, but with it having a range of 120 and a splash of 115, does that effectively make its range 235, basically?
Wait, say that again?
If it has a range of 120, correct?
Right.
And it has a splash of 115. Does that effectively make the range of it 235?
I don't know. And if it does, what's the splash fall off?
Right.
That would be interesting.
Well, it would have to, wouldn't it? Because the splash is the.
Oh, you know what? I bet you I know what that is. I will bet you money it's really just 115 for the splash. The range for the pulse is 120. I'll bet you the damage is only 115.
No, the damage is 350,000.
Right. I'm talking about the range. So the range for the effect, right? The stun is at 120, but then the range for the damage is probably 115. The splash range.
Oh, okay, that could be possible.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, honestly, personally, I would like the way this reads. 335. I'm sorry, 235 is what I would initially kind of go with, but I don't trust anything on these blueprints anymore. So
right,
I'm going to expect the worst, and the worst is a range of 120 for the pulse and a splash of 115 for the damage. I expect.
Personally, for me, it would be actually worse as if the range for the pulse is 120, and then the pulse also splashes out 115 from that, because then everything within 235 is getting stunned. That would be worse, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think they can do that. I think the stun is definitely the 120. I'm just wondering about that damage because I mean I could conceivably see it at 235 with a really large splash fall off, but
Hey, all I know is after Borbos's Gore Saber, I'm not putting anything past him.
no shit. and this is radioactive damage too.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind because that's an awful large number. So I foresee a lot more people putting this on their, I don't know, Conquerors and driving like little bitches again in their bases, but you know.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm personally really interested in this since we're, especially right now, back to the slow down and kill them by 1,000 cuts. This would be really helpful in those scenarios.
Yeah, charging at a boat, and I mean, what do you get? 5 or 6 of these on a Conqueror hull? You charge into a fleet of Conquerors attacking your base, and that goes off a couple of times. They're going to be hurt before they even get in the channel.
Yeah.
I mean, I could definitely see someone putting this onto, I don't know, like a souped up freaking Conqueror hull and just have it on the outside of the base to charge. I mean, that would be ridiculous.
The MSC is the first thing that probably comes to mind to put it on if you're using it in the offensive capabilities.
Now, with the berserk duration there for 1 second, how many times does it berserk in that duration? Only once, or is it? Can you get it to like every 0.2 seconds? So it goes bang, 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 and it sends out like 4 or 5 of these 350,000 worth of damage out, or how does it work?
Just once.
Yeah, basically what the way I'm understanding it is, okay, it triggers at every 375,000 points, and that berserk duration lasts for 1 second. So if you get another 375,000 points in before that 1 second expires, it's not going to go off again. It has to wait for that 1 second before it can trigger again.
Okay. Yep.
So, like, for example, if you have it on like a MSC and you're taking it through a base and you get hit by a Howie and it like does 1.5 million points to your Howie, you're not going to get like, 4 of these triggers run like boom, 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 boom. You're only going to get 1 trigger, and then like, a second later when you get hit again, it'll trigger a second time.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, Vlad, you still there? Guess not.
I am. I just had to call up the microphone there. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Here, you can talk about this countermeasure.
The Conservator CR001 is a Tier 7 countermeasure with a weight of a svelte 1,000 tons. It shoots a projectile with an accuracy of 65, a range of 75, a salvo of 15, and a reload of a legendary reload improved 3. Lots of ballistic and radioactive deflection, and it counters cannon, launchers, and throwers. Ooh, ah.
I'm interested by the fact that we now have a countermeasure for cannons.
Yeah, that was kind of
launchers. I mean, and throwers.
Well, the launchers doesn't surprise me because I don't know if you're aware of it, but for a long, long time, the Trident would shoot down launchers in the old base part targets.
Yeah.
So that one didn't surprise me that we got, a countermeasure that worked against launchers.
The other thing is, too, is Swag said that it was coming out, and it's just taken a long time to come out, so.
Oh, yeah, since Swag hasn't been part of Battle Pirates for how many years?
It was, I think it was the, what was the first radioactive hull that we got?
The nuclear launcher?
Yeah. That thing. And I think it was either in the whip or I think it was in the video for the raid. He actually said that they can't be shot down yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it took a while. Ballistics and throwers, though, are kind of, I don't know. I mean, a thrower, we have mortars are area of effect weapons, right? So we already shoot those down. But the thing is, a thrower is more like it's not a solid when it comes out. It's fucking flames.
Well, I mean,
what
I,
are you gonna do?
I guess maybe.
Wait. Are you expecting real life physics to apply in this game?
Well, see,
Logic maybe.
the way I'm looking at it, that big canister on the back of it is like a fire extinguisher. So as they're shooting flamethrowers at you, you're fire extinguishing it as it comes in.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hell of a lot of foam if that's what it's supposed to be.
It'd be a lot of foam in here, I was going to say, eh? Be like a bubble bath.
Oh shit.
But yeah, I'm not sure exactly what they're doing to counter ballistics. That's just kind of weird.
I mean, what are these people thinking? We live on a water world. I mean, just the environment. Think of the environment, motherfuckers. Had to. Just had to.
But I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm not sure that I necessarily see a place for it right now. Because as we said, impact cruisers and Afrits aren't doing much in the realm of base hitting. But it's interesting. Too bad it's Conqueror and Defenders only. Too bad I can't put them on like my siege ships, for doing the Primus Ordinance campaign. Then I could shoot down those ballistics as they were coming in at me.
Has anybody noticed that there's a lot more of this happening? Have you guys seen, like, this is actually kind of like, this made me chuckle. You see my screen, Mike? Look at my screen.
No, I'm actually paying attention to the show and what we're supposed to be doing. Sorry.
Oh, multitask, dude. I didn't take my medicine today. I'm all sorts of all over the place. That's actually probably one of the better looking ones that I've seen. Other than that, big replica guy that was, anyway. That one actually made me chuckle. Interesting. Anyway. So back to the we're on the CR reloader thingy, Bobby. Is that the next one?
Yeah, why don't you talk about it?
Yeah. Ballistic reload, radioactive reload, and countermeasure reloads. 45 for the first two and 85 for the second or for the last one. Now this would be really interesting on that hull that we just saw that had that, what was it, 185 reload on that damn hull? For countermeasures?
145, wasn't it?
That was something crazy ass. And then, that on top of it, I mean, that's going to be 125. So 125, another 85. I mean, I'm curious how that's going to stack.
I'll bet the game developers are curious about how it's going to stack too.
No shit. It's a hefty one though. This one is this is what you bring to the all you can eat bar because it's heavy. But yeah, ballistic reload and radioactive reload. This is going to be interesting on the Ifrit, especially if you start playing with some of the older throwers too. Did I say that? I did say that. So the other thing too is if you can get this, and I know people are still running Vanquishers. I've come up with some really interesting things on the Vanquisher lately. We'll see, but this would be an interesting add-on there as well. I am messing with a new build, so it might show up in the game again soon. I don't know, but I like this one. It gives a little bit of depth for your Conqueror and Defenders, especially if you want to kind of niche build.
But the white.
Yeah, it's a hefty one. Like I said, you bring it to the all you can eat bar.
Yeah, that and if you fit on the new on the new countermeasures on, that'll be that. They look like really heavy.
Oh hell, you can't retreat from a target now? What the fuck? Again? I blame Mike.
Sure.
It's all his fault.
I'm fine. I don't care.
It's all your damn fault.
Well, nobody wants to give me credit for the good shit that I do, so I might as well take credit for the bad shit that happens.
What good shit?
Well, yeah, I've never done anything good. You're right. Toxic, ballistic force, go.
Okay, it's a Conqueror and Defender special. It is light on weight, It boosts your ballistic damage by 35%, but it cuts your range down by 9%. So, it's
great for all those impact cruisers that hit bases.
It makes for some very interesting things.
But even with the 35%, you would never get past what do you call it? Deflection, yeah.
Yeah, you're not doing this for deflection, though.
Yeah, it's an interesting special, but I'm not sure. I haven't got any impacted cruisers built yet. I'm in the process of building one, so I have to evaluate, see if I want to put one of them on. But at the minute, no.
I'll be honest, I'm not impressed by it. I haven't been really all that impressed by any of the forces that they've come out with. And then we got the Cold Snap Rocket 2.
Oh, yay. Another in the long line of why are we getting these things for... I mean, can we just give up on these tier 7 things already? I mean, please.
Oh, no, we got to go. We got to get the whole lion for Voltron before we can stop him.
Yeah. How did that work with the last time we did the Voltron theory? Oh, yeah, we never finished it. That's right. Did we ever finish it? I don't even know if we finished it.
This will be the second one for your explosive turrets and the explosive line for your tier 7 turrets. It has a range of 60 to 191. I mean, the range is pretty decent on it. It does radioactive damage as well as the explosive damage. Or no, wait, hang on. Yeah, it does 202,000 explosive damage, and then it does 50,000 and change of radioactive damage. It hits submerged stuff for 202,000. So, and it puts out fire field. It puts fire fields in the water apparently. So interesting.
It still does. It's just a Cold Snap, just rebranded, recolored, nice and pretty picture. And hey, the art team does a fantastic job, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, the one good thing though is all our Conqueror hulls that we're facing now aren't Cold Snap immune. So
true.
So your little special thingamabobbers you put on your tactical mods can actually be shut down by this.
Very true.
So that was always something I thought was funny with the original Cold Snap is we got the Cold Snap, and by the time pretty much 50% of the people got them in their base, every hull thereafter was Cold Snap immune. So it's like, wow, what was really the point of that? So I mean, I'm sure I'll be getting these just to add to my collection of turrets that don't do anything.
Now, with these special abilities here, sorry, I have a quick question. Fine. If you put all the little bonuses and buffs and stuff that you can put on this, and it bumps the damage up and whatnot, does the damage of the radioactive field stay at -300, or does it go up as well?
No, that's not affected by if you add radioactive damage, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering whether you could maybe bump that up so you could get past deflection or something. Get a bit of.
Yeah, it wouldn't affect the field, but it would affect the secondary damage, radioactive damage that's on the turret, though. So then we got the prize list. 1,700 points. You'll be getting 12-hour ship. 12-hour ship build token, Excalibur Gatling gun, vulcanized barrels, King's Rid, or a 24-hour structure build token.
Oh joy!
2,400 points. You can get a cryo trigger, ballistic calibrator, siege cannon D35V, conquest yard token times for 1 day times 5. You can claim that up to 5 times. Conqueror class 24-hour build token. You can get 3 of those for 2,400 points apiece. Defender class 1 day build tokens. You can get 3 of those. Defender class VXP tokens. You can claim 3 of those. why you would when you just build them. I'm not sure, but you can.
Yeah.
Zithanite reinforcement D5C. You can get the 7-day build token for the new Cold Snap turret. You can claim up to 5 of those. 5 7-day tokens for Howies, 5 7-day tokens for Execution 2s, 5
Yeah, I think
7-day
it's for all of them.
tokens, and
Yeah.
5 7 days for Blended Buses.
Has anyone figured out how many points you need for all the new stuff this time?
I haven't, but we can easily go back and do that after I finish going through the prize list. For 5K, you get Impact Cruiser, Wildfire Thrower, Radioactive Ignition, Explosive Scope, Field Extinguisher, which I might try to pick up one of those this time because I don't have one. The new EMP Blast and the Caustic Catalyst. And 7,500, you get Vulture Missile 2, Executioner 2, Howitzer 6, and EMP Overload. Oh, sorry, that's the one. Let's see. For 10K, you can get a free. You can get the new Conservator, the CMCR Reloader, Ballistic Force, or the new Cold Snap Rocket Turret. And you can claim up to 2 of the rocket turrets. And then, of course, for 40K, you can get 2 of the new Curators. So that's the prize list for Bounty. So let's see. For the new shit, let's see. That's 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, claiming 2 of those. 97, 50. Let's see, if that'd be 105, 112, 112,500, I think, for all the new shit.
Oh joy! Yeah, I can't
Well,
see myself.
that's not counting the tokens.
Yeah, I can't see myself actually grinding that shit out this time. I just can't. I mean, I always relied on friggin' hit and play bases in the other ones because I just didn't have the time to do it, and I don't have the time to grind that much shit. That's insane. Maybe I'll just play late and see if somebody fell asleep at their computer and they don't bank when I go in.
Well, isn't everything else in the game grindy too? I mean, why would this be any different?
I mean, they've destroyed PvP in so many ways now, and they destroyed the PvP event. I mean,
Now, does anyone know how long it takes to build a Cold Snap turret, the new one?
it's probably the
Because
same as the other ones.
we can claim 35 days worth of build tokens. That scares me.
For that specific.
It said for the Cold Snap turret 2 7-day build token times 5, limit 5 claims. So you can only get 2. So that's scary.
No, it's because if you look, the Howie 6, you can get the same exact amount of build tokens for that, and it didn't take all that long to build.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
I think it's just like, because as we start getting all of these turrets, as all the turrets start coming in, you're going to have to start picking and choosing. Because you're not going to be able to have all the turrets for all the bonuses all the time. Because you just simply don't have enough turrets in your base to be able to do it. So people are going to start having to pick and choose. And these tokens are probably for when you, in the future, start having to drop stuff and then decide, oh, I didn't want to drop that, I need to put it back on, type of deal. Would be my guess.
That could be, yeah. I just when I saw that 35 days, I said, "Whoa, that doesn't look good." But looking at it that way, it makes sense, I guess.
Oh, I might be able to do this bounty. I just figured out how to auto some of these things. Yay!
Most of the targets I've hit in bounty today, I autoed.
This is interesting. I want to find out in a minute if it actually is going to work. I mean, I'm trying it on a larger target because if it can do this, then I don't have to worry about the little ones. But I mean, it took some damage.
Well, I mean, the bonuses, the prize, the point payout for the target seems to be all over the place. So like I've hit like low level ones and got like 400 points out of, and then go hit a high level one and almost lose your fleet in it, and you get like 150 points. So just because something's low level doesn't mean it's going to not pay out good points.
Yeah, it's true.
I literally I see no rhyme or reason to point payouts on a lot of these things.
No, they should pull bounty, totally fix it, put it on a different server, do a proper test, and then test it again and retest it, and then once it's all fixed, bring it back out.
That would involve testing PvP, and we don't do that.
Yeah.
Or they could just take bounty out back behind the shed and go Old Yeller on it.
That sounds like a plan right there, right now, because this is going to put me to sleep.
I mean, I don't know. I said when they first came out with bounty, it's like, why don't you just have it be like a constant store that's there all the time? You can put new shit in it every now and then, and people can just use metals to buy stuff. That way, it actually gives some kind of actual value to a currency that's already in the game that is totally freaking pointless at this time.
But how would you supplement the economy then?
Metals are not a currency. Metals are nothing more than a leaderboard point total.
Right. But he's saying to convert it into a use like having a bounty store. Permanent bounty store.
Converting metals into any currency is just a bad idea.
Well, and you think anything that has to do with PvP is a bad idea.
Don't get me wrong. I love PvP. I just can't afford to play it. But metals are nothing more than saying points. They just call them metals. Trying to convert them into a currency is a bad idea.
Well, that's what we do with bounty. That's exactly what bounty is. Bounty's points. And we convert that into, prizes at the end. And I mean, metals.
But that's not a continuous thing. That ends at the end of bounty. Well, 5 days after the end of bounty, because they can't manage to get the claiming done in 24 hours like they do for their other raid in a month. But his premise back up at zero.
I can tell you why that is. That claim period lasts for so long. If you would like to know.
Actually, I would. I've always wondered.
Because you can't buy your actual prizes during bounty. You have to wait until the end.
Yeah.
So during a raid, as soon as I get my points for something, I can buy it. You can't do that during bounty. You have to wait till the end of bounty. So that gives me more time to think about what I want to do with my points as during a raid where I can think about it as I go.
Right. The prize store is open. But the thing is the premise to this whole discussion was a permanent bounty store. So yeah, it would be all the time. The only two caveats are that I would want to kind of explore. One, how would you supplement the economy then? Because if you spend the metals, you got to kind of get them from somewhere else now, right? Where does that come from? What's the nexus of the metals? And then two, you got to figure out a way to not let us exploit that system, because it still can get exploited if you want.
Oh yeah, I know it can. Because people go out and dump metals all the time and to get more metals, and it can be exploited. But I mean, quite frankly, what is there in this game that if you really sit down and think about it hard enough can't be exploited?
I don't want to answer that question. I plead the fifth.
Because the answer is there's nothing that can't be exploited if you sit down and think about it hard enough.
I mean, it's all mechanics. That was the whole point of last bounty was, that was, yeah, that was planned. I mean, that was, I don't know. There are certain things that you can put them in the game and make them a pain in the ass to exploit. So you can't really just totally go crazy on the exploitation. But then there are other ones that are just like, why are you doing this?
I mean, my bigger concern would be that, if they did something like that, is you have to put stuff at a price point for metals that's obtainable by more than just the epic elite people. Don't be putting shit in there that's 750 metals.
Oh yeah.
Because you're gonna have 2 fucking people in the whole game that can get it.
Mm-hmm. And there's that widening gap that it used to be where the gap was, it was noticeable, but it was still within reach. Like everyone was still within reach. That was the whole, everyone feels like engaged and they feel relevant and everything. And now it's, the disparity between the have and have nots is, I mean, it's a chasm. I mean, it's huge. So that needs to be looked at as well. I mean, there are a lot of, I don't know. There's some issues. Got some problems. I'm glad they're looking at them. I just hope they can correct them.
Well, yeah, I just want to see them do more than look at it, because that's all we've gotten in the past. It's like, yeah, we looked at it, didn't do a damn thing about it, but we looked at it.
Yeah.
Toxic, you're being kind of quiet. Did you fall asleep?
No. I'm still wide awake, listening and thinking. My brain hurts already from all the thinking.
So, you got any topic you want to talk about?
Well, with them putting the Greta and the Conqueror into the FM, that got me pondering a bit. I mean, why don't they put TLC fleets into TLCs, FM fleets into FMs, raid fleets into raids, and Conqueror fleets or PvP fleets into bounty, and then give us one of these, every now and then. And once they've brought it out once, it goes into the the tower that we can. Oh, I lost the word now. We can do our little TLCs. We can.
Oh, the nav relay, not the nav relay, but the campaign tower.
The campaign tower. That's right. Yeah. So once we've done it once it come out brand new and it's finished, then it goes into the campaign tower the month after, so that the people that couldn't get it then can still get it from there, and all the lower guys can get it there as well. And that's what I'm sort of thinking, rather than having hulls here and there, and Harry's not happy because Jim's got it there for 40. He's had to pay 40 million for it, and now he can get it in the FM, and now this happens, and now that happens. That wouldn't happen, and you'd know exactly that only TLC hulls, certain hulls come out of the TLCs, FM hulls for the FM. You get them in the FM, not in the raid, not in the bounty. And it sort of put a little bit of order into that part of the game. If it would work, I don't know.
Yeah, but the TLCs are the raid hulls. I mean, that was the promise, was that, again, something that it was told to us and it's not working as they said. We're supposed to have those for a year. They're supposed to be our go-to hulls for a year for chores. They're not. I mean, the Buccaneer was so good in the raid. I enjoyed that raid so much because both of the fleets worked, and I could do either one. I could drive, I could auto, I could do whatever the hell I wanted. I had my choices. This raid, the auto hull is non-existent. It's a shitty version of a skill hull. So you have two skill hulls. One works mediocre, one works okay. Both suck for damage. I mean, I just want shit to work the way it's supposed to.
Well, the scattergun version worked in the lower one, and the missile version worked in the 104s, I think. One was designed for one was designed for the other.
Drove them.
Yeah.
You weren't going to auto the damn things with the auto hull, though. That's the problem.
No.
Actually, wait. I actually have to disagree a little bit. The 106, I was autoing really easily with my Nanocores.
Yeah, with the skill one, right?
No. With scatters.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I was autoing I was autoing with the skill hull, and I was driving the scatter hull because I got so much less damage when I was driving the auto hull, quote unquote.
Yeah, the 106 was not bad in auto with scatters. However, when you would then go in the 104, you would get totally ripped apart trying to auto that with scatters. And the different, that was mainly because the difference of the way it was set up, though, because in the 104, half the time you had ships running at you, whereas in the 106, you were always running after the ships.
Yeah, but the extra range of the missile would help you not even hardly ever get shot at.
Well, yeah, I can't speak to that because I wasn't using this all. I'm just saying, I know for scatters, the 104 absolutely fucking blew balls because you had all those ships that were running straight at you, and then they'd get close enough that their scatters would hit you, and that would cause you a pretty excessive amount of damage. But in the 106, you were just trailing behind them all the time, so you were always not getting hit by their scatters and outranging them.
Yeah, true that. Yeah.
But I mean, going back to the 103, because we were touching on that earlier. Yeah, I have a big problem. Like, okay, if I'm using bucks, which are the auto hull, and I'm letting them auto, yes, I expect to take a little bit more damage. But like in the 103, the little bit more damage I take isn't a little bit more damage. It's like an excessive amount of damage.
Are we gonna really go on this topic? Shit.
No, we might as well because you wanted to talk about it earlier, and I just wanted to get through the slides.
It's not even the auto thing. I just want the fucking things to work the way they said. Like if I'm gonna have my hull from the raid, and it's the auto hull, then you know what? Can it please work for the fucking year that you promised me? I mean, really, I understand not everybody likes to auto, and it's not really a big thing, right? It's not the thing, but it's the clearest like instance or example that I can make of what's wrong in the game. And like that 103 target is the perfect example. Who the fuck thought it was okay to let the Hydra auto for 30 freaking minutes of damage, but the auto hull do what, 3, 4, 5 hours of damage when people have been trying it? That's insane.
Mine I know was like 4.5. Well, and what really gets me is okay here. Like the 98, I can go and auto the 98 with my bucks, and I can take 30 minutes damage or whatever. You get 150,000 base points, right? So logically, following that line of reasoning, the level 103 gives me twice as many base parts, so I should take twice as much damage. But no,
that's logic. Dude, logic is not allowed. What are you thinking?
But I'm taking 8 times the amount of damage. That's fucking ridiculous.
Okay, and I'm gonna even make that worse. Why is the skill hull on auto? Why is it autoing that next target up for that same 30 minutes of damage, but getting twice as many base parts?
Yeah.
How is that fair to anybody other than the people that hate auto hulls and love the skill hull? Which, surprise, you can make anything a fucking auto hull if you really, really have the motivation. Okay. The whole premise is completely flawed in that target. I have no idea what the hell was going on with that. That was a dumbass move.
It looks like Vlad wants to say something. Not only did he unmute himself, but he turned the camera back on.
Uh-oh.
No, I just didn't want you to think I disappeared at all.
Rant.
You guys are covering it pretty good. If I had a Vlad rant, it would be that my allegedly 12-month haul died in a month. But I think George has pretty much got that one covered.
George is an upset pirate about this subject. I want the promises to be kept. I really do. Well,
they haven't kept that promise since the word go. Our first Conqueror haul was going to be a 6-month haul, and it ended up being a 6-week haul. And it's been going downhill from there.
Which one? The Onslaught?
No, all the way back. What was it? The Revenge?
Oh, well, I used my
first
one.
one.
Wow.
Well, it was great for 6 weeks, and then they came out with a response to it, and all of a sudden you couldn't crack anything that anybody who was paying attention.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I used that thing for a good long time. I mean, it was a very, very specific build, and it sucked because I don't think you were supposed to be able to do some of it, but it worked.
Well, for me, they broke BP when they changed it from build any which way you want to the way we want you to build. That's when they broke BP, and it hasn't been right since, ever.
And by the way, for those of you who are watching, if you haven't realized now, we're done with the news part of the show. We're now in the idle ramblings and rantings part. So just
grab a beer, grab a shot, grab a smoke, whatever the hell you want.
Grab some of George's unused meds.
Oh, they don't want to do that. They'll be up for a long
I
time.
think George needs to grab some of George's unused meds.
I think I do. I mean, I'm doing like 6 things at once. This is a bad thing. I mean, this is really bad right now. I got like 7 tabs open. Fuck. Oh, man.
I have
Anyway.
8 tabs open at least at all times.
What the fuck?
You've seen how quick I respond to stuff sometimes.
This is true. But I don't know that you have the 8 tabs that I have open right now.
Well, no, I'm sure I don't have the midget porn tab open. So, yeah, probably not.
Midget clown porn. Let's
Oh,
be
sorry,
clear.
my bad. My
That's
bad.
2 quick steps right down. That was.
Dude, I was with you when you said midget porn. I was with you when you said clown porn. But midget clown porn, you're just a sick fuck.
I blame Michigan Murata. He got me into it. Totally his fault. Totally his fault. I'm still trying to get those midget strippers on the warehouses for April Fools, but doesn't look like it's going to happen.
So, did anybody else have anything BP related they want to discuss? Or are we just going to wrap this up because we've devolved into talking about midget clown porn and midget strippers?
How are you guys finding the FM targets? I'm kind of curious because like I just like cracking those things, and I don't know. Like, I got a lot of hate mail today about those fucking monolith builds. I got someone that just sent me a video just now about I don't know what the whole deal is with people running. Like lately, people are running videos and they're not showing the damage after the video, and I'm not sure why you guys are doing that, because I don't know how that helps the fucking community in any way, shape, or form, because they're running icebreakers in a 120, which is great. I mean, I love the fact that you can do it, but I want to see how much damage you just took, man. Like, what the hell?
So can't you get a pretty good judge, though, by watching their health bar?
No, they have it covered.
Well, I'm just like, even on like the individual boats, though.
Oh, shit, I'm old, man. I can't see that shit.
Well, that's
It's
why all browsers have a magnifying option built into them, you dumbass.
That crap. But I mean, I don't understand why. Like, this is like the 3rd or 4th video this week that I've seen where they're covering the damage and they don't show the damage at the end. What is that? Why is that even on here? What the fuck?
Yeah,
what it is I'm a hero. I can do this with last year's haul. And you don't need to see that I took about 2/3 of my total fleet as damage, because I did a 120 with icebreakers, and yes, you can do it. But my optimally tuned for 111 icebreakers took about 2/3 total damage, knocking on a 120, and I had to drive it to boot. So it's not anything that you'd want to do, but it is possible.
Yeah, I don't know.
I do want to actually kind of put a big positive note in there as far as the 120s. I think the 120s are a much better target overall than what the 117s were. I was really pessimistic when I saw they were totally getting rid of the 117s and bringing out the 120s. I was like, oh, great. Now I'm fucking going to go back to taking like 8 hours of damage on my FM. And I have to say, I've been very, very pleasantly surprised with that target and the way it's worked out.
I've actually liked them both. I mean, the fact that now, the way that I've done it takes a long time. So like, it's not what I'm going to be doing, going forward, but it shows some really interesting things about the targets. And the one thing I kind of don't like is that it's so splash based in terms of damage, but it also lets you, like, if you want to drive, you can kind of lead out, like in the old days. Remember when we used the subs and you put the sub underneath and have the DNXs firing?
The sub decoy,
the sub decoy. And so you can kind of do that now with the Greta and have your dragons in the back, and you can run through it pretty quick. And if you keep some decent distance, you don't even have to drive all that well. You just won't take that much damage, So I like the fact that there's some options in doing both of them. I don't know that I like that so much of the damage is splash based, because if I've invested, like I have a total of like 5 or 6 dragons, right? I have the Greta. If I've invested in building those and I want to crank through the FM, I'm going to be taking, like, I take as much damage doing that as I do with just 2 hulls doing it on auto. There's a little bit of an imbalance there, and that actual mechanic, the fact that they're actually relying on the splash mechanic that much, is how I actually did that with the 2. I mean, technically you could do it with 1 hull. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't want to sit through that, and it does take a lot of damage, but you can do it with 1 hull. But you can also do the 120s with the monoliths, which I really like. The fact that you can do it with the monoliths with the Greta flag is phenomenal, because if people can get that Greta flag, I mean, we've been getting mono tokens for I don't know how long. That's just a great option, and it actually is good in that it also lets people learn how to drive really well too.
Well, I can tell you this: I'm not going to build monoliths again. I built them twice and scrapped them both times. I'm done with monoliths. Those things are an absolute piece of fucking shit, and I will never, ever, ever build another one.
There. I did that. The thing is I did that because, like, a lot of people were like, oh my god, I got to refit 5 dragons or 4 dragons and this and that, and I'm like, I ain't refitting shit. Like, I am refitting it, but I'm not going to try and rush through that crap. I wanted to come up with something so I can. I mean, I did come up with something with the 2 hull run, but if you're still refitting that first dragon, if you didn't carry the extra tokens or anything, what do? And I was like, oh, this is a neat idea, and it worked. It was great. And you take a lot less damage that way than running icebreakers through the motherfuckers.
I do have one little complaint about the 120s, though, and I mean, it's not a huge thing, but it is a little bit of a complaint, is those walls in that thing take fucking forever to kill me.
Oh, yes. Jesus.
Like, the walls, and when you compare the walls in the 117 to the walls in 120, it's like, one was made of paper and the other's made of concrete.
It's the same with the 121. I mean, to the point where I came about, like, I had a build in my shipyard for a dragon that was mortar based, and I came so close to just hitting it, and I was like, oh, it's just I'm gonna have to, like, I would have to run 4 of them. And I was like, the hell with it. I mean, it would be a really cool auto hull because you can keep them at a distance, and you take hopefully not that much damage that way, but still, I don't know. Yeah, those walls are ouch.
Yeah.
Damn.
But I mean, overall, I am very happy with the 120. I'm taking way less damage than I did in the 117s, and I'm getting 100,000 more points on top of it too. So, good job. Thumbs up. I try to give you guys kudos when you deserve it. This is one time when you, in my opinion anyway, you definitely do.
Yeah, definite improvement over the 117. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I was a bit hesitant hitting them. I used to get my cardiac and hit the 111s, 112s, and I used to be able to do that for like 2 million points, and then I'd put them on repair. By the time I get home, I'll do it again. But then I thought I'll give it a shot, and I tried it, and it was about an hour and a half repair, I think it was. Then I got the Greta, and I only got one of each of the armors on, and it's just purely a defensive hull. And bang, the damage just went down as soon as I put that in there.
Yeah, that Greta, I love that hull.
So now I've got all the charged armors on my normal Gretas, and I started to change the armor out today with the tokens that I got from the FM. And
just let me interrupt here for quick. Let me interrupt here one quick second. Vlad, I know you need to go make dinner, so you can feel free to bounce at any time.
And I'm going to take advantage of that. It's been a long day, guys. I will see you guys next week. And thanks for having me, and we'll talk to you everybody soon.
Oh, wait, we'll see you next week. You're going to be here 2 weeks in a row?
It does appear. I can't guarantee it, but it does appear I'm going to be here 2 weeks in a row.
Holy crap! Everybody, write this down on your calendar.
Yeah, I better write it down on mine too, so I don't forget next Thursday.
All right. See you later, Ryan.
Good night, everybody.
Night,
See you, lad.
Night. I have to say that the Greta was really well done. I love it. The targets are so much better than the 117s. I never could do the 112s because I didn't build anything into mine to take care of all those rockets. But yeah, I mean, I'm thoroughly enjoying being able to come up with outside the box type of options for that. I don't know. Maybe I'll take a look at the icebreakers now and see what the hell I could do with those two. I don't know.
The only thing I don't like, and I'm pretty sure that it won't let you take the cardiac in there. I don't think you can.
No, you cannot take the Savage and the 120 or the 120.
Yeah,
All right.
that's
It's limited to is it tier 6 and up or something like that? Is that what they did?
Yeah, I think so.
Let me see what
Yeah,
this
so
thing said.
your little tier 4 Savage can't go in them. Which that was kind of a little bit of a sore spot for me too. But
yeah, and then
Yeah.
I've tried the Greta with 2, and yeah, it takes a long time to kill stuff, and
It
I took
does.
a lot more damage than what I do with the Greta and 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Only like the best run I've done was like 25 minutes so far with a full fleet and Greta lead, and that was not even fully armored. The Greta's not even fully armored yet. So
That's interesting. On the
Now,
120 or
Toxic,
121?
Toxic,
maybe
are you doing
120.
are you doing the long range build or the short range build?
I got no idea. It's
Oh my god.
the Gretas that I first built when they came out, whatever they were. I got no idea.
You're Inferno Dragons. Do you have lowered explosive mounts on them or not?
Let me have a look. It'll probably take a while to load up. I'm not in the
I'm
game
half
right
tempted
now.
to actually take mine off and see if it's far enough away to mitigate some of that splash damage. I'm really curious.
Well, what I was thinking about doing was actually leaving it on my Gretas, but taking it off my regular ones.
Right, that's what I mean.
Okay.
So the Greta goes up, so there's that gap, so there's an automatic gap. But you know, I'm a lazy bastard, and I don't want to like waste a ton of time on chores because
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can do it on just one, I guess, and see how it works.
yeah, I guess.
We're probably going to wrap up the live part of the show here soon, guys. I did put the Hangout link in chat, though, if anybody wants to jump on and continue talking with us on the after show. But I think we pretty much exhausted all our topics for today. Well, all the ones that aren't going to take an hour and a half just with their own selves. So I think I'm going to call it right here. But thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for putting up with our ramblings. Make sure you give us a like, a thumbs up, subscribe, and share us with your friends and send them to the page. We'll talk to you later.
Night, everybody.
See you later, and it's the short range.
Okay.